your voice.
Oh, well.
You know, so I think it was just a stroke of luck for me.
Well, what about the commitment that was required?
All right. Now that you said that,
Yes.
yes,
What
I
about
was
the
very
commitment?
committed.
Yes.
I was, and I was also particularly, I saw myself as somebody who had an assignment, and no matter what, I had to do it right. Because I was always told, put your best foot forward. Make the best of what you get, and try and live by it.
Yeah.
And then the rest is history.
The rest is history. Well, historically, you will recall that governments used to change in the Radio Nigeria studio. I, Major General, or I, Colonel so and so.
Joseph Navim Garba.
Exactly. Right.
Sani
Did any of those
Abacha.
coups catch you in the studio?
7.
7 caught you there.
Not in the studio,
Yeah.
but enough for them to come and pick me
They'll
at
pick
home.
you. Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think
Naturally.
it was Rosalind Ogunro that was really
caught.
trapped.
Yes.
You know, and she spent 27 hours.
Yeah.
And that was the Dimka coup that killed Muritala Mohammed.
The
Assassinated.
The Abacha coup, right, caught me on the radio in Radio Lagos.
Ew.
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yes. 24 hours, you didn't go anywhere.
Yes.
Right.
And in my own case, they came for me. They said, come and relieve whoever was on duty. And I'll be there for, in fact, there was once I was there from 2 p.m. till the following morning,
Yes.
10 or 11 a.m.
No, but let's discuss the psychology of that. What was that like?
It was traumatic.
Yeah.
I had never felt any joy in seeing any man in uniform, a soldier. I say this not because I don't like them, not because they do not represent the importance of protecting the integrity of, or is it the territorial integrity of the country,
nation,
or
yes.
sovereign, but because over time I just saw them abusing the privilege of holding the gun, owning power, and then you just take it as, seize it as you like. That was what I saw. And I wasn't too happy. But then I interacted with them.
Yes.
I did. I had no choice.
Yeah, especially you, a popular newscaster. I said, go call that man. Where's Sonny? As though they knew you.
You know, okay, the one that brought in President Ibrahim Babangida.
Yes.
Myself and Tombra Abarowe. And I think, who was it again? Tulufa Toimbo, or thereabout. They asked us to go to NTA to record his voice.
Yes.
And come back to Radio Nigeria to play it back.
Yes.
Okay. So, Tombra was the studio manager. I was the announcer on duty. And Tulu, I think, was he was senior to us.
Yes.
I'm not sure the role he played, but anyway, we went. We got there. And the thing is, Babangida, he has a beautiful voice. You know, he made that announcement. The first announcement was very fast. And I called Tombra and said, boy, I won't take this for a broadcaster. It's too fast. In fairness to Babangida, he asked, is this okay? I said, no, sir. Then everybody looked at me.
Who are you? But you were being professional.
But in fairness, the man offered to take it again. He never even met me. He didn't even see who said that. Just said, look, if they don't like it, let me try. You know, he took it a second time, and it was better.
Yes.
Yeah, made some impact there.
Exactly. But then, it was with all of that apparatus of power there, all those guns and stern-looking faces and all that.
I don't know what gave me the strength of character, the boldness to say, no, sir. But I did. And he listened.
And he retook it.
He retook it.
It was a better broadcast.
It was better.
Yeah.
And that also gladdened my heart.
Good. That you could speak up where you had to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Many people on the radio today, they use words that were taboo for us to use.
NTBB.
Yes. You are a trainer. What can be done?
You said you are a trainer. What can be done? As if I'm the cause of the problem.
Oh, no.
Let them send them to training school,
Yeah.
first and foremost.
Yes.
If they send them to school, they will have a chance to see things the way they are done. They will be scrutinized. And they will be given a chance to say, did I do it right or wrong?
not. Yeah.
But now, get out of school, if at all you went to school, then you take him to the studio, so your voice sounds good. What about his mental capacity?
Yeah.
What is about his psychological state of mind that can tell him, listen, you're talking to people who are more knowledgeable than yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. True.
So,
True.
involve them. Talk to the beggar on the street and the professor in the classroom, and in between, the leaders everywhere, because you're talking to someone, one person. But that person has a brain.
Yes.
And he can process things.
And he might even be smarter than you. So
In
why
fact,
talk
he's
to him
most
as though
likely
he were
to
not?
be smarter than you.
Exactly. Now, you've had a checkered career in broadcasting. In fact, let me say in media practice. Part of that was a 13-month stint as commissioner in your home state, Edo. What was that experience like?
Well, it was an interesting experience. It's just that I didn't see myself capable of playing politics and being a professional at the same time. I couldn't. And good thing, the governor then, Lucky Benedion, he's a man, I should say, he listens, and I think he just found that, because he came on Sonny Rabo Live, by the way, and from there he made up his mind I was going to be in his cabinet. And I felt honored by it. But after 13 months, it became a bit tough. The day I left was the day Mrs. Stella Basunjo actually came to launch Radio Nigeria Benin. And before that, I had done a bit of short trip because things were not just going the way I had expected.
But was there any particular thing you wanted to say it was like, or compare it to?
In the 13 months?
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of good things should have happened, but they didn't. And I saw a governor who was being untwisted to do a lot of things for the politicians rather than for the people. And there's no way anybody can rule like that.
But isn't politics meant to be for to the people's benefit?
Okay, you said it.
Yes.
But do you feel it? Let the people tell you that they are actually getting or gaining the so-called benefits of democracy in the people. I don't see that happening, and I don't think people are really enjoying that. Otherwise, we will not be where we are today. We are going down rather than going up.
That's
and
true.
this going down started a long time ago.
But can you divorce the person from their politics?
Why shouldn't he divorce himself from the politics? Who elected you there? Isn't it the people?
Yes.
Okay. So if the people put you there, what should you do? What should your priority be? Meet the people's needs.
Yeah, and expectations.
Not meet the politicians' needs. That's what's happening today. And that's very sad, really.
It is sad. It is sad. And even these days, you hear people say the young or younger generation is not ready to take power.
That's a very untrue statement. And that's from a very selfish point of view.
Why do you say that?
Because adults are overstaying their role and time in power. Look, Trudeau of Canada, how old is he?
Yeah, well, he was a baby when Gowan visited.
Thank you. 1971 or
yes,
thereabout.
72 or 73.
Yeah.
Because I think he's about 48 now or so.
So you can imagine how many years he's put in now.
Yes.
So how old was he when Bill Clinton, how old was he? 43 when he came to power.
Yes.
Emmanuel Macron was 39 when he came to power.
Exactly.
The Prime Minister of Austria, Austria,
Yeah.
was 31.
Yes.
So what's happening to African leaders? Become geriatric before you can be anything? No. You see, what I'm trying to say is this. I'm not perfect. But I believe, honestly,
Yes.
that the people deserve a true leader, a committed leader, one who can say, I have something to offer you
Yes.
because of the needs that I see before us. Give me a chance and I'll give it to you.
All right.
Now, if that happens and you actually perform, then you are being creditable
Okay.
and creditworthy.
We're still on Timeless Conversations. My guest is Sonny Irabor. We'll take a short break now. We'll be back shortly. You're welcome back. It's still Timeless Conversations. My guest is Sonny Irabor. We're talking about the role of the youth and the older generation in politics. And you've expressed this salient fact that the older generation is overstaying
Yeah,
its role or its position in power.
both.
Both?
Yeah, because look, at this stage, there should be elder statesmen advising the young ones. But if you are not giving the young ones a chance to rule, to give them the benefit of the doubt, let them experience life at that level,
Yes.
you might see that they have a lot to offer.
But APC brought out its presidential form, a nomination form, at 100 million naira. How many young people would be able to afford that? And then they said they reduced it to 50 million, even 20 million. How many of them have
That is
it?
part of the four power we are talking about.
Yeah.
Because you are now making people to go towards facing the wrong direction. I have no money to offer, but I have leadership, which I'm endowed with. And the 100 million is now standing between me and truism.
Even 50 million.
Even 50 million, it's not proper.
How many people have 50 million? In fact, how many people have 1 million?
How many states
Yeah.
have that money today?
Yes.
States.
States.
Yeah. Do you know how many of them are begging?
Yes.
Is the country not begging and borrowing now?
That's true. That's very true.
So I think, you see, maybe we should not misplace our priorities. I think that's where the problem lies.
Yeah, but you know, it's about practice. It's about saying something and doing the same thing, or saying something and doing another thing.
Yeah.
Why must politics be one where people say one thing?
And then they do another.
Yeah, why?
There used to be one Olu Obaseki
Yes.
many years ago. He said, do as I say, not as I
Not
do.
as I do,
And the
yes.
children know, no.
Yes.
You do it, we must
Yes,
follow you.
exactly.
You know, excuse me. Now, that question is salient. But do we have conscience? If we have conscience, we should be able to understand that the reason there is politics is because of the people.
Yes.
You see, government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Yes.
Democracy.
That's what it's supposed to be.
So why should it be otherwise? Why should the National Assembly earn far more than their counterparts elsewhere in the world?
Yes.
It came as an aside, but it's the truth.
It is the truth.
Why, for example, should we now see a situation where there's no money to do certain things? We say, okay, don't worry, we'll go and borrow money to do it. When the money is brought, you divide the money into different bits and take it for other things instead of what it was meant for.
Yes.
Why should anybody that borrowed me money come and tell me how I should spend the money?
Yeah.
It's because they don't believe I will spend it the way I said I was going to. Should Nigeria be like that? No.
But then, what's the role of integrity in power?
What's the meaning of integrity?
Yeah.
Integrity is not supposed to be, let me even put it bluntly, somebody who is able to respect the rule of law and respect his own level of commitment to truth
Yes.
and believe that he's not above the law, then integrity can come in effortlessly.
Yeah.
That is not happening. Because if that were happening, then what we are going through now, we shouldn't be going through it. I'm not casting aspersion, because this started a long time ago, and it's continuing as it is, and we don't know when it's going to end.
But you know, the younger generation, they say things like, Daddy, Uncle, your generation has failed us.
Yes, they are right.
And those uncles will now say, but is your generation ready?
Why would I take advantage of the loophole that I see there? Did they give them a chance? NSAS came. What happened? There's a report on NSAS.
Yeah.
And it told the truth the best it could. International media came. They saw everything.
Yeah.
Now, when it came to a climax where people were killed, now we started looking for truth. Why should that happen? The children or the youths had a chance, and they proved to us that they could do things well.
They could organize.
Organize. And you are telling me they are not ready?
Yeah.
Bros, I beg, get as it be.
Nobody say it be as it gets.
At all.
It get as it be. Now, truthfully, the younger generation has a great deal working for them.
Yeah.
Technology, information dissemination.
That we wrestle with them over. We always wrestle it with them.
Yeah, yes, because again, older people don't want to relinquish power.
But do we even know how to use the computer that is in front of us?
Yeah,
We don't want to relinquish power.
I think
We don't know what information is in that computer that is in front of us that we don't know how to use.
that we don't know how to use. So, but really, shouldn't there be a deliberate attempt to nurture, mentor people who will take over in different strata of life?
Start by respecting the rule of law. Let the constitutions, the 79, the 99, let them play their roles. Let us see how far we can manage it. Let's stop amending constitutions when we don't even know the meaning of the constitutions. Our lawyers should honestly help us. They should not take advantage of the situation. They should help us interpret the laws. And then the law enforcement should do the best they can to make sure that things are done properly, creditably, and effectively.
But this thing you're saying, it sounds so utopian.
Well,
Why am I saying so? Sometimes in traffic, you find vehicles driving against traffic, and they're blaring sirens, and they're not ambulances or fire brigade vehicles.
do we respect ambulances?
Well, some of us
Have you ever seen an ambulance being respected on your highway, Lagos Highway?
I think it's beginning to pick up. I've seen
Okay,
that. I've seen
beginning
that.
to. You are a retiree now,
Yes, I am. Yes.
Beginning to pick
It's
up.
beginning to pick up.
When did it start?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Right? And then there's a fresh breath of air. You see an RRS vehicle filled with policemen stop for the traffic light.
Then that's leadership
I saw
by
that.
example.
I was happy.
That's good.
I chased them. I said, thank you for stopping for the traffic light.
Because when they stopped, everybody stopped.
everybody stopped.
That's the point I'm making. Respect the rule of law.
Yeah.
You know?
You see, we will take a break now. We'll take a break now. We'll come back soon. Thank you. Welcome back to our talk with Sonny Irabor. Now, you have had the unique opportunity of being a public and private sector broadcaster. What's that experience? Can you compare both?
Well, it's interesting to talk about. It's rather intriguing because for the public, which is the government-owned,
Yes.
they see us as civil servants, but we see ourselves as private servants or private sector people. And the reason for that is because we still try to maintain some form of professionalism, which is required. So I entered broadcasting at a time when the competition was not that strong. But in 1992, which was halfway through,
Yes.
Babangida opened up the floodgates.
Yeah.
So private radio stations, private TV stations, they all came up.
Yeah.
But don't forget, there was always private print.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's always been there.
Yes. In fact, that's why they've been seen as bolder than the rest of us.
Yeah.
Now, when you look at it from that point of view, you also see that the private sector radio, which I really got fully involved in with the advent of the establishment of Inspiration
FM, yes.
you know, and of course there was Sonny Rabol Live with AIT.
Yes.
I saw myself listening to both sides of the coin. I saw a bit of public service, and I saw a lot of private sector service, if there's any phrase like that. But what happened was that, hey, private sector, sometimes the private sector, they will do their best to make sure that salaries are paid as and when due. That was, with Inspiration, that has always been the case. And I enjoyed that. I think AIT, I wasn't part of it. I was just an artist that took Sonny Rabol Live there. So my program earned its money.
Yes.
You know, it was sponsored by others, and then I paid my dues, and so that partnership was there. But I think the best option would be to look at it from the Inspiration point of view, where I'm still serving on the board.
On the board, yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of challenge, but met with reality, met with meeting the expectations as required.
Okay.
But not without sweat.
Yes.
Not without sweat at all.
Okay.
The public sector, however, is you're waiting for government to do everything for you. That's not very helpful.
Okay.
You know. So it compromised quality, professionalism.
Yeah.
But at a stage, it's also started trying some people.
To pick up.
Yes.
No, but yeah, let me take you back. Was this Sonny Rabol Live that made you leave Radio Nigeria?
It wasn't. I just saw my hands getting fuller and fuller and fuller. At Radio Nigeria, I was already dabbling in too many things. I mean, I was an actor, second chance.
Yes.
You know, and then I've been training. Training was part of public service for me, and I was reading news. I was doing so many things side by side.
Yeah.
Everything was just moving so fast, and I said, oh boy, Sonny, slow down. Do things your way so you can still maximize certain qualities and profits. It was tough.
And then you had to leave.
I just told my DG then that I needed to leave. I gave 6 months notice, and he gave me 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I said, bros, thank you, sir. And I left. So I moved from, public service to private sector because I already had Rui Communications Limited.
Oh, okay, and then that was already running.
Yes.
That was being run by your wife.
By my wife.
Okay.
And of course, thank God, because when she now woke up, the magazine came to birth,
No, now, talking about waking up, you turned 70 recently. And that was in March.
Yes, March 23.
March 23, you turned 70. First, you don't look 70.
Thank you.
Second, you've never looked your age. No, you have never looked your age.
Okay.
At least I've known you for not less than 40 years.
Thank you.
I feel talk.
Okay.
So, what's been the secret?
Be a happy person. There are moments where you cannot afford to be not happy,
Yeah.
but just try your best. Everybody said I was a happy-go-lucky person, and but I think I worried less. There's a friend of mine, very rich man, but he didn't go to the kind of school we all went to, and not many of us went to school anyway. But there was something he always said, and that made me never forget him. If you worry, you die. You don't worry, you die. So why worry?
Exactly.
So I kept that mantra with me, and I did my best not to worry. But there were moments of worry, and there was nothing you could do. You just had to worry. But let go. Let God.
Yes. On the occasion of your 70th birthday, our dear colleague and friend of yours, a junior of yours in school, Ogie,
Eboigbe.
Yeah, he wrote something about you. That the first day he met you, that you were playing table tennis at the college, and he had just been admitted, and he was looking. He said, "Okay, you stay behind me and be picking the balls."
Oh God, that's unfair. Okay. When I see him, I will.
Yeah, but he didn't lie now. He was describing his
I
experience.
remember the experience.
Right.
Oh my God.
They don't do that in school these days. Or they will call it bullying, or.
Oh boy.
But they still bully, though.
Wait, I didn't bully. But people bullied me now. Kilode.
Well,
Yeah, well, that was an experience because, again, there was also a hierarchy of experience. Nami first reached you.
yes.
Nami first reached school before you. Abi?
Before, yes.
And go behind me, pick the ball. Now.
Pick the ball.
Eh?
You were even in Form 3. He was just in Form 1.
Oh.
So he had 3 years experience already. He was about to start. That's what he wrote.
Yeah.
And it was a very beautiful thing. He happened to even end up being your
Best
man when you were
Can you
getting
imagine?
married. Yes.
See how the world goes around.
Yes.
Because Ogie is very principled.
Yeah, he is.
He's, I say, and he's very spiritual. You know.
Yes.
So he's that kind of person. Look, you won't believe what Ogie has done. Ogie was State House correspondent.
Yes.
Then he finished and went to work for Canadian Embassy. He was their PR officer. Then he went to work for UBA as PR officer. Now, if you look at his
Trajectory.
you say to yourself, "Not be Ogie be this." But he maintained a cool mien about it.
Yes.
If you worry,
You
then
die.
you don't worry.
You die.
So
why worry? Yeah, we won't worry. But we'll talk about something.
Yeah.
A few years ago, about 2 years ago, you had a fall.
Yeah. 2020, 2020. Oh my God, clues. That year, pandemic year.
Yes.
I think the world stood still. In my case, my world almost stood still. On August 25, 26, maybe, I'm not so sure. I ran through the kitchen, which was being cleaned up, washed, you know, they mop it.
Yeah.
So it was wet. Just to give the driver the car key. I was feeling spriteful. I just, I slipped. And then I started doing Tom and Jerry, just trying not to fall.
Oh, no.
I navigated my way through the back door. I zoom. I hit the sharp edge of the steps. My chest at the back. And it was bang. I saw, well, I don't know if you can look at elephants as stars. That's what I must have seen. So I recovered and just got up and sat there. Poor drivers, they were just looking at, sorry, sir. They made poor girl almost crying because she felt she caused it. And I got up and I just went back in as if nothing happened. A few days later, I was not feeling my best. And Betty, my wife, said, "Why is your shoulder slumped? It's like your one side was, you know." I said, I don't feel it, but somehow I just feel one kind. I said, "I know. Call the doctor, blah, blah, blah." Anyway, I felt good. I thought I felt good. Then I said, "I'll call the doctor later." And I didn't. Anyway, what then happened was that all of a sudden, I started feeling uneasiness and kind of heat wave around my system.
Wow.
So I now called the doctor. Doctor said, "What's wrong with you?" I said, I don't know how I'm feeling. But I had a fall. And when? I said, some days ago. Did you hit your head? I said, well, no, I didn't. Are you sure? I said, no, I didn't. Okay, come to my house. So we drove to his house. My son drove. My daughter I was at the back. No, I was in front. The two women were at the back, my wife and my daughter. So we got there. And his wife was having, this Dr. Sheyi Roberts.
Okay.
His wife was having her 60th birthday.
Yeah.
And so they didn't have any major, because pandemic, there was really no noise making of any kind. Anyway, so they came out and looked at me, examined me and said, "If you feel like this by morning, go and check go and do MRI. But he shake my hands, and I shook his hands with this hand. He said, grip me, and I gripped him.
That's
He
your
pulled
right
me.
side.
Yes. He pulled me, and I pulled him back. Oh, you're okay. So far, so good. But please, if you feel any discomfort or any change, call me and make sure. But in the morning, go and see go to McHugh and do your MRI. So everything seemed okay. I slept well. I went to do the MRI in the morning. By then, I was beginning to limp, and Betty said, because Betty, who had done surgery some years back,
Yes.
some her clutches that she used. So yeah, take. So I started using that, and then got to do the MRI. Sitting down waiting for the MRI must have taken about 5 hours, and my system was degenerating.
Oh no.
So I felt something was really not the best for me. I said, no, it must be that fall, it must be that fall, it must be that fall. Anyway, I finally went into the MRI. One noisy machine like this, so God. And 20 minutes later, I came out. He said they would send the results to the doctor. But by the time I came out, this hand
Had gone limp.
and oh wow, Betty was upset. My children were very upset. They didn't know what was happening. Because everybody sees me as like I've never, by the way, I've never ever been admitted in any
hospital. Wow.
So by the time she saw the MRI results, quick, said, Nicholas, I should go to the. So I spent 9 days there. And I already had what you might call it, almost a full-blown stroke. On this hand.
Yeah.
But luckily, that was the only thing that showed there was any stroke. But, you know, she had called it evolving stroke. That discouraged me and said, no, don't worry. Make sure you drink a lot of water. Make sure you do this, you do that. You know. And then it put me on medication. And so the hand started coming back to life.
Okay.
Over, now it's 2 years. It will be 2 years.
It will be 2 years in August.
Well, August the 4th.
Okay, but
the
the
stroke
stroke
was
was...
2nd September.
Wow.
You know. So that was it.
What has it been like for you? You're somebody who is on the go,
Hey,
on the move.
it was, it's been tough. Because even my family, they don't want me to do anything.
At all.
They don't. But then when I insist, they say, no, it's okay, but you have to obey the doctor's orders. I say, you're right, it's true. So we've done a lot of physiotherapy. The hand is a lot better now. I can now,
Lift up a little bit.
you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes if I keep it for too long, I just start
Okay,
feeling
so you just have
heaviness.
to keep it
Yes.
mobile. You need to keep moving it.
Yes, that kind of thing. So, well, here I am, getting back to track, back on track, as they say.
Well, you know, like we joked the other day that old age is catching up with you. So it sent you a message through that phone.
Oh boy, the guy needed choco because I never would. I'm just 70, going on 70.
You're a septuagenarian.
Okay, sir.
Septuagenarian. Septuagenarian.
Septuagenarian.
Yes.
No, don't be conscious now.
I'm conscious.
I'm not teaching you.
You taught me before now. I have to be conscious.
I wanted to learn from you.
You're a septuagenarian now, so whatever you say.
You are saying I'm 70.
I know, I'm reminding you that you're 70.
No, but I think it was, somebody said the other day
it
that
was March
17.
23rd that you
Yeah.
turned 70.
And I thought 17.
70.
Pronunciation.
No, not 17.
17.
17. T-E. No, but you look good for 70.
Thank you.
You look very, very
Thank you.
good for
But
70.
body not feel good.
Body never feel good yet. It will soon return to normal.
Yeah.
Now, as someone who is 70 now, and you have worked for about 53 years, that's it.
Yeah.
When are you going to retire fully?
Is there any retirement?
That's
There
the question
isn't
I
to,
asked you.
because really, even when I was ill, And I didn't feel like doing anything. Believe it or not, there was a kind of degenerating or feeling that I thought I had.
Of just being immobile.
Yes.
Of not doing anything.
I didn't like that.
That's what scares most people
But I didn't like
about
it.
retirement.
Well, why is there the word retirement?
Maybe because you need to slow down as you get older.
Yes, slow
Maybe,
down. But
yeah.
just say slow down.
Yeah, well, slow down.
Don't
is
say
a-
retire.
Slow down. Those are two words. Retirement is one word.
But what do we say go slow when we are
If we say
static?
that in Nigeria, go slow.
Look, my father, and in 1973, my father retired.
Yes.
And we said, Dad, don't go anywhere. Just, you know what he did? He escaped.
Ooh.
We thought he was missing. For 3 months, we were looking for this man.
Wow.
He went to a place called Eho on the way to Auchi in Edo State.
Yes.
He was Midwest there.
Yeah.
And the guy created a farm, a 5-hectare or acre land.
Yes.
Farmland. Got 8 able-bodied boys, 8
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah.
My father looked so fresh. We only saw him 3 months after
After.
we declared him missing.
Yes.
But one thing he did that got us a bit comfortable was that he said, don't worry, I'm okay. Nothing wrong with me. But if you want to know where I am, don't bother. Because he said we were hounding him to stop.
To just stop working.
He said,
Okay.
"No."
So
And
we're
you
not
know-
going to hound you, so you
So
won't
don't
escape.
hound me.
So you won't escape.
Yes.
But one thing we're going to say is
Yeah.
that don't be in a hurry
No, to
to
where?
get many things done.
Okay. That's a point.
Yes, don't be in a
But
hurry.
body is slowing me down, so I can't even hurry anymore.
So, but at least take it easy.
Yeah.
Now, taking it easy will make me ask you the question: what's your favorite meal?
Oh, they stopped me on that a long time ago. It was sushi and banga soup. They don't stop. So
Osi, what's Osi?
sushi is that starch that they do
Okay.
in Uroboland.
Okay.
That is very yellowish
Very
because of the
yellowish.
palm oil.
Yes.
Yeah, by the time you don't beat and well,
Okay.
then you don't do banga soup with fish.
Yes.
Yeah? Not frozen fish, oh,
You know, fresh fish now.
fresh fish.
Fresh fish, yes.
Not fried,
Not fried there.
but
Just
the one that they
it's
dry
broiled.
up, you know.
Oh, did you dry it up?
Yes, and then
Okay.
they cook it, and the one that they turn together is a roundish
Yes.
fish. Like tilapia is the best, too, but these days now only this thing they see. The electric
Catfish.
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 So anyway, I left that, and now I take
So you found a new love.
plantain mash with black soup.
I was going to ask you about black soup. You know, I have a lot of friends who are Edo and all that.
Bitter leaf soup.
I love
Black
black soup.
Give me knuckles.
Yes, you know that black soup.
Yes,
when you take it,
It keeps my body together.
I love the what's that
Pounded yam?
leaf now? No, I don't take pounded yam.
Me too.
Yeah.
But I still at it is a little bit because
No.
The mix
I
of the
love
good
Yeah, I love the efirin, ewuro, the
Okay,
ewuro
yeah.
bean. You know, when you mix it together, and it's a beautiful, beautiful.
there was one I took in Ibadan, Begiri soup.
Begiri is out there.
Phew.
Begiri
And
is
Lafu and all that.
Begiri and amala. You understand me? And then when they add Begiri to the amala, and then with the soup, the other soup, that's
The ewedu.
Ogufe soup.
Ogufe.
Ewedu. So that's why they call
But
it
Nigeria
abula.
is so rich.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But if you talk about Nigeria, 2023 is around the corner. What's going on? How do you feel? You're an old man
I'm
now.
seeing-
Oh, sorry, you're an elder citizen now.
Well, of the above. I'm seeing untruth. I'm seeing falsehood. I'm seeing a desire not to allow the young ones play their roles. People who should not run, there's no need for them to run. Come on, they've had the best of times. They should slow down, give others a chance to roll. Honestly, I think what we are doing right now is like Shakespeare's Comedy of Errors. It should not be so.
Some people said that Nigeria is at a precipice right now.
We've been there too many times, and I
Yeah.
hope this time we'll be able to get away from it.
We were in
Get out of it.
1993,
Yeah, we were in 1993.
and that was very
We were
scary.
in 1979.
Yes.
See?
And the
We're in the 1964 wet year.
The truth is, 64, I wouldn't have been aware. I was just 2 years old then.
Well.
Right. So I was one of those they were carrying around. Not so for anything not to happen. Don't crawl out there. No, but seriously, why is it that every election year we heat up the politics so much?
Some people enjoy that. They want the world to see. You see that fear-mongering,
Yeah.
fear factor.
Yeah.
It doesn't help anybody. It takes us back, actually. So if we can tell the truth to ourselves and respect the rule of law, I keep saying that.
Yeah, but you keep saying rule of law.
Yeah. What
Right.
is the rule of law?
Who is going to lead in the respect of rule of law? There is something missing in the Nigerian political space. It's leadership, good quality leadership.
Because the right people have not been given a chance to rule or lead by example. And so somebody makes a mistake, he's at fault, he's taken to court, he's guilty. Let the judiciary handle their case themselves.
Yeah, but talking about going to court, people don't get punished. People steal money, huge sums of money, and then they do a plea bargain, slap them on the wrist 6 months.
And then, why is the money so available? Shouldn't the money be in the banks?
Yeah.
Should it be in houses or bullion vans?
The truth.
Should any individual own bullion vans? Should anybody even say why? Look, I don't see why our money should be doled out the way it is being doled out.
But the point is that there is a law, there is the EFCC Act that says you cannot withdraw more than so much in
Nobody's
cash.
obeying it. Why?
No, nobody is enforcing it.
Aha,
The
that's
banks,
the word.
the enforcement should start from the banks.
The banks,
really.
that's right, yes.
The moment you are withdrawing more than so much in cash, it should be reported.
Absolutely.
You can't do it in other
And if
countries
it's
now.
reported, who should follow it up?
Yeah, but they should do the reporting first.
True. Absolutely. I
They
agree
should
with you.
do it. Up
Completely.
to today, many arms of government, local, state, and even federal, they withdraw huge sums of money in cash.
And that should
To
never
do
be.
what? That shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be at all. And there's no reason why anybody should bring us so low.
Yes.
Because I think it's because of that attitude of, I can get away with it. That's why all these things are.
There's even more than I can get away. We are getting away with it. That's it. Nobody is being punished.
Nobody's
So there is a dearth of leadership,
And then we have leaders.
supposedly.
They call themselves leaders.
Supposedly. But you see, it transcends those in public life. Even in private lives.
Who put the people there? It's not us.
Yeah, we do.
So,
But how many good people are coming out? You have never come out to run for election.
was I given a chance?
No, did you try?
I tried and ran.
So then you didn't try?
I tried and ran away.
No, you didn't try.
Okay.
You didn't stay. You have to have a fighting spirit.
No, but I was appointed. I wasn't elected.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
So it's not really a case of live and let live.
Yes.
It looks like it's a case of live and let die.
Oh, not die.
That's what's happening.
No, it's a case of standing by what you believe in.
For us, yes.
Yes.
But for those who are there now, who don't want to give anybody a chance, what are they doing? They're living to let die.
Yeah, but then
Me, myself first.
but the whole thing will crumble. That's where we're at the precipice. That's what led us to this.
It's scary
Yes.
because from what we've discussed so far, I'm almost giving up saying no matter what has been said, there's nothing I can hold on to as being the solution to the problem. I've heard Peter Obi give such a beautiful analysis of our economy. I listened to Soludo at the platform,
Yes.
you know. But I was asking myself, on the Rewani,
Yes.
Bismarck,
Yeah.
who is listening to these guys?
Yeah.
Who is willing to take the advice they have given?
Yeah.
So everything's adding up.
Yeah.
And it's coming to the fact that me, supposing I try, who would join me? I think that's the fear.
Hey, well, you see,
Should it be so?
this is what it should be. me, I would try.
Okay.
I will be known for trying.
Okay.
And we've had examples in the past.
Okay.
We had Aminu Kano. We
Yes.
had Tai Sholari.
Yes.
You understand me? We
Yes.
had other people, and I'm not mentioning the big names. I'm mentioning the moderately respected names.
Names.
Who stood for what they believed in.
Principles.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we're
Absolutely.
missing.
That is seriously missing.
Yes.
And there's no, I don't see any, no light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, if we say there's no light at the end of the tunnel, then what are we handing over to the younger generation?
That question you've asked so many times.
Yes.
And honestly, I can only tell the world, give the youth a chance. That's all I can say.
And on that note, I'd like to thank this is how he calls me, my brother, my colleague, and then I add my Egmo and my trainer. This is the first time on the air I will say Mr. Sonny Irabor. Usually we'll just say Sonny Irabor. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very
much.
much.
And thank you for sharing your passion with us. And thank you for still training people.
Thank you.
Thank you. You don't old though.
If you worry, you die.
Yes.
You don't worry, you die.
die.
So why?
Why worry?
Okay.
On that note, we want to thank you so much for being with us on Timeless Conversations for this episode. We look forward to joining you soon. Thank you.
My name is Oluwafiropu Iwinla. With nostalgia, I recall at various stages of my life. And in fairness to our collective memories, those good Lele and the Yagonku, how can I forget those monthly inspections of the living quarters of the barracks when in preparation, each family not only cleans up their respective personal inner rooms, all join hands to clean the kitchen, the conveniences, and the general arena of the block. That was when the next door neighbor to the right is Igbo, and the one to the left is Igala, and we all lived in blissful tolerance. I remember being called the Kobo boy by certain friends of the family in Iyagonku simply because they claim that my look suggests that I am not Yoruba, but Igbo. This we all laughed away as a joke, but it bears witness to the spirit of camaraderie that we all enjoyed in living together. I remember the classes we took in Islamic religious studies, side-by-side Christian religious knowledge, right then in ICC, Okebola, in Primary 1. In my first term in school, I, alongside other students in the class, had mastered the art of performing ablution as a prequel to saying the Islamic prayer. I remember how my parents used to invite me to come and recite memorized Islamic prayers learnt in school to visit us in our house. Did I tell you that my father aligns with Christianity, while my mother aligns with Islam? But as a child, even before I could walk, I could not bear to hear singing in a church and not be drawn in. Mother was compelled to start going to church on my account, since she needed to be around to guide me. As a young adolescent, I remember going to live with my maternal grandfather in Akimori. He was a traditionalist, versed in divining with cowries. Henry Nilogun, I became his faithful acolyte, helping him to keep his accounts. Did I tell you that, irrespective of his traditional background, he observes the Ramadan fasting, goes to mosque every Jumat, and never stopped me from going to church or following the masquerade when it is its season? I come from the deep good old days of yore, a past of beautiful people and intentions, a past of peace. Our challenge now is to focus on how we can change the narrative.
I am Sade Uwe, and this is a news brief. Criticisms greeted the high number of delegates Nigeria sent to the ongoing conference of the parties COP28 Climate Summit in Dubai. at a time of austerity that the federal government was urging the citizenry to make more sacrifices. Nigeria accounts for 0.319% of global carbon dioxide emissions, but her 1,411 delegation is joined third largest with China after the host nation UAE with 4,409 and Brazil 3,081, followed by Japan 1,067. Meanwhile, the federal government funded 422 persons to the ongoing COP28 Climate Summit in Dubai. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, has said. The minister made this known in a statement on Monday following the controversy trailing 1,411 Nigerian registered delegates at the summit. The People's Democratic Party's presidential candidate in the last election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, has called on concerned authorities to conduct a thorough investigation into the accidental bombing of locals in the Tudun Biri community of Kaduna State by the Nigerian Army. The former Vice President of Nigeria made the call while expressing his condolences to the families and victims of the drone airstrike that occurred at 9 p.m. on Sunday. The General Officer commanding 1 Division, Nigerian Army, Major V.U. Okoro, via an official statement, has however said that the Nigerian Army was on a routine mission against terrorists but inadvertently affected members of the community. The Nigerian Army has taken responsibility for Sunday's airstrike that left many villagers killed and several others injured at Tudunbiri village in Kaduna State. This development was confirmed by Samuel Aruwan, the Kaduna State Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, at the end of an emergency security meeting on Monday. The Kaduna State government convened an emergency security meeting chaired by Deputy Governor Dr. Adiza Balarabe to discuss the incident. The incident was unintended and unfortunate as the Nigerian Army troops were on a routine mission against terrorists in the area. Search and rescue operations are still ongoing, and those injured have been rushed to Barao Diko Teaching Hospital for treatment.
In the meeting, which was presided by Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Dr. Hadiza Sabwa Balarabe, which had in attendance heads of security agencies, religious and traditional leaders, the Nigerian Army explained the circumstances which led to the unfortunate and unintended attack. The GOC 1 Division, Nigerian Army, Major General V.U. Okoro, explained that the Nigerian Army was on a routine mission against terrorists, but unfortunately, some members of the Tudunbiri community were affected. Search and rescue efforts are still ongoing as dozens of teams have been evacuated to Barao Diko Teaching Hospital by the government.
We've been briefed by the government exactly what happened. And it's purely incidental, and it was not a deliberate issue, and it's been explained. So we heard what the government said, and the government has apologized on behalf of the security personnel that carried out the exercise.
The Nasarawa State Command of the Nigeria Police Force has arrested one Mr. Habul Yusuf for allegedly raping a 5-year-old girl in the Nasarawa Egon local government area of the state. The acting commissioner of police, DCP Shatima Mohammed, made this disclosure in Lafia on Monday while parading 17 other suspects arrested for committing various crimes in the state. He narrated that the suspect, who had previously raped 2 other young girls, was arrested following painstaking efforts by officers of the command.
That one Mohammed Sani M. of Gyaraku, Tofa, was tied on both hands and legs, locked in a room, where he was stabbed to death, and he was hurriedly by his family buried him in a shallow grave without the knowledge of the security agencies, without the knowledge of the police. Upon receipt of the complaint, the suspect was trailed and arrested. Preliminary investigation revealed that Habu Yusuf has also sexually molested two of his elder brother's children between the ages of.
Parents of the abducted students of Federal University of Gusau in Zamfara State have staged a peaceful protest at the government house demanding the unconditional release of their children. They want Governor Dauda Lawal and security agencies to rescue their children who have been in captivity for 72 days unhurt. No fewer than 24 students of the university, 10 construction workers, a staff of the university, and his daughter were kidnapped on September 22nd this year in Sabon Gida, a community within the main campus of the university. Lawyers and activists in Kogi State have raised concerns over the Social Democratic Party and its governorship candidate filing a petition against the November 11 election outcome through a backdoor and backdate to circumvent the provisions of the Electoral Act. The United Front for Democracy, led by Barrister Yetunde Olubumi Shaibu, claimed that the SDP candidate has not filed his petition against the All Progressive Congress winner Usman Ododo 22 days after the election's declaration. They alleged that the SDP and its candidate were still preparing their petition to appear to be filed within the legal stipulated duration.
The wisdom of the Electoral Act is that anyone with credible evidence should be able to put such forward within the legally stipulated period. We are, however, disappointed that the SDP is about to lose the opportunity to test the law with a competent petition. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the African Democratic Congress, ADC, opted to avoid the embarrassment of searching in futility for evidence by deciding not to challenge the election at the tribunal. However, in as much as we would like to leave the determination of the validity of the petition filed at the time of the Honorable Election Petition Tribunal, we want to leave that determination to the Election Petition Tribunal. We owe the populace a social and legal responsibility to expose a clandestine move by the SDP and its candidates to file their petition through the back door and backdate same to circumvent the provision of the Electoral Act. We are not going to allow that. Our very credible source revealed that the SDP and its candidates are still preparing their petition at the time of this press conference, and with the intention of filing the same within the week and have it backdated so as to make it look as if it was filed within the legally stipulated time. This must not be allowed to happen in this spirit of justice.
The Kogi State All Progressives Congress Governorship Campaign Council has lambasted the Social Democratic Party and its governorship candidate over a concocted rigging video released to divert the attention of the public away from the conversation around their not being able to file a petition against the outcome of the November 11 election within the stipulated time frame. The Director, Media and Publicity spokesperson for the Council, Kingsley Fanwell, who said this in a statement, asked the public to disregard the senseless concoction, noting that the SDP and its thugs put up an autocratic gangsterism against democracy in Kogi East during the election, apart from the blood that was allegedly spilled in the build-up to the poll. According to him, the release of the concocted video on a day the SDP is battling with the determination of the people to make them do the right thing is a roadside strategy to divert the people's attention from the heavy cloud of controversy on their inability to file their petition within the constitutionally approved period. Fanwell blamed the security agencies, particularly the Department of State Services and the police, for the lawlessness being allegedly displayed by the SDP, saying the State Director of the DSS and the Commissioner of Police in charge of Kogi State Command seem to have licensed the violence and illegality of the SDP. Osun is set to be positioned as one of the leading states in Nigeria in terms of the economy. Chairman, Osun Development Association, ODA, Dr. Segun Aina dropped this hint at a reception held in honor of the leading lights of the state, themed honor well earned. The event, which was held in Lagos, had government functionaries, captains of industries, and the Controller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, among others, in attendance. Our correspondent, Paul George, was there.
Notable indigenes of Osun are gathered in this hall. Their agenda is to fraternize and collaborate to ensure development of Osun State, as well as to honor accomplished sons and daughters. Top on the list of the honorees are the immediate past governor of Osun State, Gboyega Oyetola, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taurid Abiodun Lagbaja, and the Comptroller General, Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi. The chairman of the Osun Development Association, Dr. Segun Aino, speaks on the impact of the group towards the development of the state.
It's been a wonderful experience being a member of this organization, and also now had the opportunity since 2017 to be the chairman. And we have seen the relevance, the impact over the years. We work with all governments, given the caliber of people that Osun State has and the kind of turnaround that we can have in Osun. The world positioning is as one of the leading, if not the number one state in terms of economic development in Nigeria.
One of the icons from the state, former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Professor Bolaji Akinyemi, commends the association for its achievement. He expresses joy for being a part of the organization. In the same vein, the Comptroller General, Nigeria Customs Service, Adewale Adeniyi, while commending the ODA for honoring him, says he is aware of the responsibility of leadership. He promises to continue to uphold the values of the group.
I admire the values of ODA. I admire their vision for Osun State. The transition from the old generation to the young generation assures me that ODA is going to be going places. Thank you for giving us an opportunity to honor you. In honoring you, we are honoring ourselves.
We know about the very heavy responsibility, the great expectations, the burden of leadership. Practically, we carry the aspiration and the hopes of Nigeria. So it's a very, very big responsibility, and I hope that God will with us to be able to discharge this responsibility.
Other honorees are also hopeful that the association can help drive development in the state.
I think that technology is going to be key to unlocking the potential of the state. We all now know that oil is no longer the greatest thing to come out of Nigeria, but actually it's talent. ODA will play a key role in this through our role with the Innovation and Tech Committee. One of the things we've launched recently is the Scribe Initiative, where we're looking to empower 50,000 Osun State indigenes over the next 7 years with digital skills to be able to make impact across the world.
Related being part of this development organization, it provides a platform to give back to the society and contribute meaningfully to development, especially when you talk of the youths, which segment which I belong to. It's an opportunity to encourage them, motivate them, and groom the leaders of tomorrow with a view to developing and building a better and bigger society in Nigeria that we all look forward to.
The Osun Development Association, ODA, is an assembly of non-partisan Osun State elders, thought leaders, technocrats, and professionals. Paul George, Plus TV News.
The Delta State government has launched the State Green Project to promote environmental cleanliness and health. The initiative involves dignitaries and government functionaries clearing dirt along major roads and streets as part of a sensitization drive. The project also aims to make the state a business-friendly environment, encouraging local and foreign investment.
We should properly dispose our refuse. Refuse should not be dumped on median or on the highway. This amounts to removing waste from your home only for you to dump them along the road. This should not happen. Our surroundings should be kept neat at all times, devoid of refuse, and overgrown weeds. All agencies of government should take the issue of clean environment serious. There should be synergy between agencies of government and effective collaboration with all Delta for our environment to be kept clean and neat. The benefit of having a clean environment, apart from what I've listed earlier, is enormous. It makes our state conducive for business and encourages investors to come to our state. Flag off today's event.
The State Green Strategy, aimed at promoting a clean and healthy environment in Asaba and its surrounding areas, was highlighted during a roadshow attended by the Director General of the State Capital Territory Development Agency.
We are going to start enforcement, and we don't want to enforce when we have not created an awareness. So we have been on radio, we are going to be on TV, we are going to send out our people physically to go to houses and offices. At the end, we'll do enforcement. We are going to move with mobile court, but I don't like using that type of force. That is why I want to move around with everybody. As I'm going on the street, I'm talking to people, we are giving flyers. So if we can do all this and you still violate it, you don't need to blame us. And I appeal, my friends, my brothers, anybody, I don't care whom it is, because I clean my house. So if you don't do it and you want to make the capital territory dirty, I am sorry to say I probably will offend you, and we definitely will offend them. You can see the collaboration we have with the local government, what we have with the Waste Management Board and the Ministry of Environment. It's a team, and we are employing the Environmental Task Force law. We are not going to spare anybody.
To make the people understand the goals and the campaign of the agency, the plans, and that is why we're here, to make our people understand that even the Bible says that cleanliness is next to godliness. That is to say, we need our environment to be very clean. We need our state to be very clean, and that is why they have made us ambassadors today, to be able to talk to the...
Now moving on to other parts of Africa. A court on Monday sentenced former Mauritanian President Mohamed Abdelaziz to 5 years imprisonment for abusing his power to amass a fortune. Mr. Aziz had been on trial since January 25, along with 10 other personalities, including 2 former prime ministers, on charges of illicit enrichment, abuse of office, influence peddling, and money laundering. After several days of deliberation behind closed doors, the court found against him only illicit enrichment and money laundering. Mr. Aziz, 66, becomes one of the few former heads of state in Africa to be convicted of illicit enrichment while in power. The death toll from landslides and flooding triggered by heavy rainfall in northern Tanzania climbed to 68 on Monday as rescue workers searched for trapped survivors. Torrential downpours at the weekend washed away vehicles and brought down buildings in the hillside town of Katesh, 300 kilometers north of the capital, Dodoma. Images broadcast on television showed debris from houses, including furniture, strewn across streets with key roads, power lines, and communication networks disrupted. Tanzania's Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa on Monday paid tribute to the victims during a ceremony in Katesh to hand over their remains to their families. And in outside Africa, the official Palestinian news agency said at least 50 people were killed on Monday in an Israeli airstrike that hit 2 schools sheltering displaced people in the north of the Gaza Strip. The reported attack took place as Israeli bombs also rained down on southern areas of the enclave, and Israeli troops and tanks pressed a ground campaign against Hamas militants in that sector. Israel launched its assault to wipe out Hamas, which rules Gaza, in retaliation for an October 7 cross-border attack by its gunmen. They killed 1,200 people and seized 240 hostages, according to Israeli tallies. And in business news, huge crowd besieged banking halls as customers moved to link their bank verification numbers and national identity numbers to their bank accounts. This followed the new directive of the banking regulator to the banks on Friday to bar customers who were yet to link their BVN and NIN from having access to their accounts. The deadline for the link of BVN and NIN to every citizen's account is slated for March 1, 2024, after which all funded accounts or wallets shall be placed on post-note debit or credit, and no further transactions permitted on said accounts. And in entertainment, American singer Billie Eilish has lost more than 100 followers on Instagram since she came out and discussed her sexuality on a red carpet. The 21-year-old artist confirmed at a Variety's Hitmakers event on December 2 that she is attracted to women and lost almost 10,000 followers on the same social media app the same day. She lost another 75,000 the next day and nearly 50,000 more on Monday. Despite losing more than 200,000 followers in 30 days, Eilish still has over 110 million followers and is among the top 40 Instagram users to have the most followers on the social media platform. And in sports, Victor Osimhen has officially been crowned as the Italian Footballers Association Footballer of the Year. Osimhen was selected as the 2023 winner, largely due to his goal-scoring contributions to Napoli's title success. The Nigeria international scored 26 times in 32 outings to help the Partenope win their first Serie A title in 33 years. And that's the news brief. For more stories, please follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel at Plus TV Africa and Plus TV Africa Lifestyle. You can also view us from Limex on limex.tv and Glow TV apps anywhere in the world. I am Shade Uwe. Many thanks for watching.
It for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Transportation in major cities in Nigeria has taken a different turn since the introduction of ride-hailing services enabled by technology. It has provided employment for many and made transportation easier and relatively cheaper. However, because of its peculiarity, the dynamic between drivers and passengers comes with its own conflicts. Drivers and passengers often complain about their interactions with one another. Many issues like courtesy on the part of passengers and drivers, being kept waiting for too long, where a passenger chooses to sit for the ride, the direction of the trip, and many more are some of the causes for conflict in this short relationship. Lawo, a hail ride driver, shares some of his experiences.
At times, some of them will set location. The map or the app will automatically give them another location. So by the time you get to the location, on the address, you call them, they tell you, sorry, I'm sorry, I should have told you. The map used to do like that, used to take people to another state, go and turn and come back. You know, that can be ridiculous. And at times, you know, the Lagos traffic, whatever, that the route you pass now, or probably before you even got through, it was hell. Now, having to go back, it can be very irritating.
How is this relationship supposed to be navigated? Mutual respect is key, and under no circumstances should riders or drivers disrespect the other. Riders should respect the vehicle they are in and should leave the vehicle in the condition in which they found it. Unruly behavior such as damaging the vehicle is not tolerated. Using bad language is also not tolerated. Being aggressive or discriminatory can also get a rider banned from using the app. Although friendly conversation doesn't do any harm during a trip, respect should be upheld at all times. Both riders and drivers should give each other space and should not make each other feel uncomfortable. Getting to a destination safely is a top priority. This is why drivers need to adhere to the rules of the road, for example, by sticking to the speed limit, not driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, not texting while driving. Drivers should always take a break if they are tired. Riders should play their part by wearing their seatbelts and not trying to cram in extra people when there aren't enough seatbelts. Riders also need to refrain from bringing alcohol or banned substances into the vehicle and should not ask a driver to go faster than the speed limit. As a rider, request your ride inside. To minimize the time that you're standing outside by yourself with your phone in your hand, instead, wait inside until the app shows that your driver has arrived. Check your ride. Every time you take a trip, ensure you're getting into the right car with the right driver by matching the license plate, car make and model, and driver photo with what's provided on your app. Have the driver confirm your name. In addition to the check your ride safety steps, you can also ask the driver to confirm your name before you get in the car. Your driver sees your first name in your app and your driver's first name is displayed to you in your app. Be a backseat rider. Whenever possible, sit in the back seat, especially if you're riding alone. This helps ensure that you can safely exit on either side of the vehicle to avoid moving traffic, and it gives you and your driver some personal space. Share your trip details with loved ones. While en route, tap Share Trip Status in the app to share your driver's name, photo, license plate, and location with a friend or family member. Be kind and respectful. Please respect fellow passengers and your driver and their car. As for drivers, here are the standard procedures required.
After a rider books a ride, you drive immediately to the location. And then until you get to the location, you don't click arrive, which most drivers, that is where they have their own faults too. So immediately they pick your ride, they click arrive. And normally, the app owners have given 5 minutes of grace. The moment you get to a place, after 5 minutes, the person doesn't come out. It will start charging the person a certain amount of money. So, but by the time you click arrive, when getting to the location will take you 9 minutes, and you have clicked arrive. So 4 minutes into his own time, you have started charging him, and you have not even at the location yet. Now, that is actually not good, which I hardly do. The only time I do it is when I'm booked in an estate, and I get to the gate, and they say, call the person to come out. Immediately before I call the person, I click arrive, because that's the estate. So having to navigate my way through that is own cup of tea. When I click arrive, then the person has 5 minutes before he will start being charged by the app. So after 5 minutes that I've clicked arrive, the person will start being charged. Then once the person gets in and will click start, then I'll ask the person, can we move? He say yes. Then I'll click starting up of the trip. So once I click on that, the trip starts. Then we continue moving.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Chinelo Anene and I'm joined by my co-amazing anchor. I haven't seen Diola in what, 4 or 5 months? It's been a very long time. And we're grinning today without you, Uwa.
Green Monday.
I know, right? Hi Diola, how you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
How's
So
the week
good to
started
see
off?
you.
Thank you very much. How's your week going? Or has it started? Because today's just Monday.
Yeah, I mean, it started well. I had a great weekend, and I look forward to all the exciting things that's going to happen this week.
Right.
Yeah.
For me, it was a very long weekend. There was a whole lot to do. And then I thought, okay, I had rested enough yesterday. And then this morning I struggled to get out of bed. But yeah, we're here. 1 day down. For me, it's 2 days to go, not 4 days, because I took Thursday and Friday off work. So.
Wow. I'm envying you right now.
Okay, as we know, today is Monday on the show. And in partnership with the Enough is Enough team, we'll be touching on public procurement in Nigerian states. I really enjoy this because it actually helps me to keep my sense of civic responsibilities alive all the time. Yeah, absolutely. So I always, even when I'm not on air, I see that whole Enough is Enough message drop on the group. I'm always so excited because I'm like,
yeah, something new to learn.
Something new. Yeah. But then here's what we found as today's quote. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. And this is by Jim Morrison. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. Because really, you can't, the media it has a very, very strong role to play, in the lives in the world generally, as a matter of fact. And nowadays, it is how news is transported, how information in general is transported or is transmitted, as the case may be. And just imagine, I remember back when they used to teach us social studies back then, and say, means of communication, and they say the town crier would beat the gong and all those things. And I'm like, I don't want to imagine how those things were in those days. But I'm very happy to see how it has transitioned now. And, how the digital space, what has happened in the digital space and in the media as well, the role of technology in media as well.
Absolutely. I mean, I like that it's not so easy for anyone to claim ignorance anymore right now, because information is readily at the tip, of our fingertips. It's everywhere you look. You just need to know where to look. Right. Even when you don't go looking for it, information actually comes looking for you. So yes, I mean, we're in a world where there is so much information, and media is the proponent. It's so interesting how much media. In fact, I can honestly say that without media, it's hard to imagine what the world would be.
Right? Yeah. I absolutely agree. Absolutely. So, Jill, I'm sure you have access to the ERP.
Oh yes,
yeah.
I do. Okay, so one moment, please. Let me just quickly. Okay, so. Today's episode of Enough is Enough, we're talking public procurement in Nigerian states, and Nigeria's weak governance demands that citizens vigilantly ensure accountability. Recent procurement revelations in states like Lagos, Abia, and Osun exposed financial mismanagement. With the dire state of the nation's economy, the reckless spending by politicians is quite concerning. Although some of these figures were denied, the grounds for denial are very weak. So let's look at procurement sham in Lagos. 30 million monthly allocation for empowerment programs and outreach to the office of the deputy governor's wife. 1.7 billion for the purchase of vehicles for the office of the chief of staff's carpool. Another 54 million for cleaning and maintaining the state house between May and October 2023. And then quickly to other states, for Abia, over 900 million spent on the governor's food and well-being between July and September 2023. True, we can argue that. Okay. Then there is, for Osun State, 8 billion was reportedly spent on meals in the third quarter of the year. For Benue, 2 billion allegedly spent on the purchase of vehicles for the state governor. This is crazy. But okay, so let's quickly look at the effects of corruption in this state. So there's loss of public trust, there is economic deterioration, there is impaired public service, there is political instability, there is long-term insecurity. What can the citizens do? The citizens can act. Utilize platforms such as shineyoureye.org, Tracker, and the Office of the Citizen chat box, and of course, make optimal use of the FOI apps.
I love the fact that the AI is actually doing something in terms of educating the people, exactly, literacy, so that people actually know that you can actually hold these people accountable. Well, sometimes we just sit back and we hear all these things, we hear these figures, and we feel we just banter and banter. That we know how to do that a whole lot, but you can actually question these things, and we thank God for EIA. Like we always say, you can actually send the message to the WhatsApp chat bots, the Office of the Citizen chat bots. You can send hello via WhatsApp to 017006381, and I'm sure you can get every question that it is that you need to be answered in that way. Yep. Media has played a significant role in helping Nigeria with youth engagement in recent years, and the widespread use of social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram has provided young Nigerians with a powerful platform to voice their opinions, organize social movements, and connect with like-minded individuals. Today, we'll be discussing the role of media in youth engagement, but first, let's take a break to see what we found in the news. You're still watching Waves. Cyber Monday was created in 2005 by Ellen Davis, a marketing manager at shop.org, as a way to promote online shopping on the Monday after Thanksgiving. The idea was to provide a shopping alternative to Black Friday, which is traditionally a time for in-store shopping. Cyber Monday quickly became popular, and now many retailers offer discounts on their websites on Cyber Monday. I never knew there was anything like Cyber Monday.
Never heard of it.
The very popular one that we all know is Black Friday. In fact, I got so many promotion emails, Black Friday, Black Friday, Black Friday. And I'm like, I saw this meme on Instagram where they went to some it wasn't in Nigeria, of course. And you know how they'll put the price as 179.99, then they'll put Black Friday and they'll write on that price. So the person went and slid the paper through it, and so that it was the same price as what they were offering as the Black Friday price. And I found that so hilarious.
I always feel that it's almost like a sham.
I know.
Really. Like, okay, maybe some days before they will put a price increase and then take it back to the original price and then say that it's Black Friday.
But apparently, thank God for Cyber Monday, but I don't think we practice that in Nigeria, because I haven't seen any organization do anything like Cyber Monday. Maybe from 2024 we'll start seeing that. Okay, Diola, what did you find in the news?
Okay, so this is UK confirms first human case of swine flu. So this is very similar to what has been circulating in pigs, which has been detected by the UK Health Security Agency on Monday. Routine surveillance in general practitioner surgeries picked up the case after the person suffered a mild illness, and UK health, whatever, they say that they're doing contact tracing now to prevent further spread of the virus. It is not known at this stage how transmissible the strain is, or if there could be other cases in the UK. And then they also say that it's too early to say if the strain could have pandemic potential. Now, that's very scary. The UK HSA has notified the World Health Organization of the latest case. So that's about 50 reported human cases worldwide of the H1N2 virus since 2005, and none of them related genetically to the strain. When I hear things like this, it's scary.
I can't imagine us dealing with another pandemic. No. I really do hope
the world can't deal with that.
I hope that this is mitigated as soon as possible and something is done about it as fast as possible. On my end, Tinubu, this is from Dapo Abiodun. It says Tinubu inherited government almost in coma. And this was said by the governor of Ogun State, Dapo Abiodun. He said that the country was almost comatose as reported. This is a reported speech, so to say, by Punch. Said the country was almost comatose when President Bola Tinubu came into power. He disclosed this during an interview on Channels Television, and he said, the President Tinubu-led administration has been very bold and audacious. I'm not sure that this is a conversation because if we start talking about this now, we would probably turn this to the topic of today. Because I don't expect him to say anything otherwise anyway. Definitely. I don't expect him to say otherwise. So hearing this from him, okay, yeah, the country was in a state of coma. But you had already made so many promises about what happened. But like people always say, it's just been how many months, Abby? Okay.
It's been long months. The winter is long.
Very and dry. I must say, not just long, very dry as well. Okay, I mean, we're having a very interesting conversation today, speaking about the role of media in youth engagement. But then we'll continue the conversation when we come back from this break. See you after the break. Thanks for staying with us. According to data published in the ad planning tools of the top social media platforms, there were 28.20 million users aged 18 and above using social media in Nigeria at the start of 2023, which is equivalent to 25.3% of the total population aged 18 and above at that time. Nigeria's internet penetration rate stood at 55.4% of total population at the start of 2023. The KPS analysis indicates that the internet users in Nigeria increased by 2.9 million, which is about above 2.4% between 2022 and 2023. This proves that there's an increasing penetration of digitization amongst Nigerians, which means people have more access to media and to information as well. Media does play a crucial role in shaping the perspectives, values, and behaviors of youth, influencing their engagements in various aspects of society, and if used correctly, can serve as a powerful tool for promoting youth participation in civic activities, fostering social awareness, and empowering them to become active agents of change. So tonight we're asking, what is the role of media in youth engagement? Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation, send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-8038-4663. The number to WhatsApp again is 081-8038-4663. Diola, the role of media.
Well, I think the media plays a very key role in information dissemination, for providing platforms, like engagement platforms for educational purposes, to, like we just did with
EIE,
EIE. And then, of course, there is the social impact as well. But I think that for me, the most powerful, really, the two most powerful really are for information dissemination and then for education. It is expected that, where there is constructive, where the media, correctly performs its role, we can ensure that good information is actually disseminated.
Absolutely.
Because that's also something that is very
key.
Very key. The fact that, yes, there is media, but is it good media? That's very important. So.
Thank you for actually saying that. I always say to people that although people believe that, social media has its own pros and cons and all of that, but then what baffles me the most is what social media, let me say media generally now, what media does in terms of misinformation. Right? I detest it. On days like that, I literally want to curse the media because I'm like, why would you spread, something that first of all is not true? How about people just come together and get their facts straight? Look at the case of this thing where they said the ban on Dubai had been lifted. It spread like wildfire, First, because people were looking forward to that. So we had been waiting to see, if this administration was going to be able to lift that ban. And before we knew what was happening, one person picked it up and then it went, even all the news agencies were carrying it, and only for us to hear 2 days later that was not the case. And I'm like, what's going on? So, like I said earlier, right, there's an increasing penetration of social media with the youth especially because as it is, we saw that during the election, the youth have a very large role. So let's narrow this down to talking about governance and politics in this case now. So when we talk about the role of media in governance and in politics, I would say that it's actually very, very important, right? Because it actually helps, first of all, to educate.
Absolutely.
I'm sure that there are quite a number of youth out there that if there was no form of media in quotes during this past election, there would have been no participation per se. There would have been no participation. So if we're talking about one of the pros, I would say that it has played a very, very huge role and impacted a whole lot in the political space. So I would say the media is very, very important. True. If I do say so myself.
Very true. Very true. And okay, so let me flip to the bad side of it. So you have the danger of polarization. Where the media takes on a narrative and then they run with that narrative and then people just generally jump on that narrative and they believe it to be true and make decisions based on that narrative, which is very dangerous. And I see a lot of that happening within the political space. So you find out that a lot of young people get agitated, and at the root of it is just something very false. So, we're in an age where everybody is literally a media person right now. Honestly. With social media, everybody is a media.
Actually.
So when you carry information, you're carrying it from your own, based on your own perspective. And that doesn't necessarily make it true. But maybe because you are eloquent or you have the right platform and then you just push it out there, and then, so I see that playing around a lot, and I really hope that we can begin to be very introspective. We can begin to not just take things hook, line, and sinker, but truly
do your own investigation. Exactly. Find out for yourself.
You should fact
very,
check.
very important. A lot of fact checking rather needs to be done. Yeah. I also want to talk about something. If we talk about the echo chambers of social media now, like you spoke about polarization. Yeah. When we look at the echo chambers, it's a lot of what has been said here now has now created my viewpoint as to how I'm going to see this person, how I'm going to carry on this campaign, how I'm going, what narrative it is that I have in my head. Do you get? I strongly believe that we need to, as soon as possible, drop all of that. And like you rightly said, do a lot of investigation. Yeah. Check to make sure that I remember there was one conversation we had during the elections as well, when I was speaking about politics and all of that. And she was talking about how people actually need to go in depth. We need to carry on this thing of politeracy. Yeah. And that's where media would actually come in. I think a lot of media houses now need to start supporting these things, supporting these movements, making sure that people actually have the right information. Since the media is the one that actually has access to some of all these HNIs and people that are actually involved in politics and all of that, they should bring these people on board, find out what it is that is going on, so that way we are sure that it's not just hearsay anymore. We're actually transmitting the right thing, and people have the correct information, and we're not just spreading false news. Also, let's talk about confirmation bias as well.
Oh yeah.
Which everything just still ties down to that same circle of So the truth is that the media has a very large. We cannot overemphasize it. The media has a very large, especially when it comes to the youth, because we're the ones on social media. Yeah. We're the ones watching television. We're the ones, be it cable TV, be it through the internet, watching the online web channels and all of that. We're the ones. Yeah. So we have a very, very, very large connection to what the media is doing. And in that way, the media also needs to make sure that there is responsible information that is carried out.
Very key, very key. Taking it back to where we started from about the media being a powerful tool of education, the media also empowers the people, because you can only, act based on what you know. If you don't know, or if you've been fed the wrong information, you would act that way. But if we have people in the media who are practicing responsible journalism, you understand, where we take away our own personal biases, and then we report things as it is, and then let the people form their own opinions based on the facts of the matter, then I think that we'll begin to see a more objective approach to the way that we think. And a lot of what I see now is, pardon the word, paparazzi. It's a lot of, in fact, it's almost as if the more scandalous it is, the better. Honestly, we have, because things like this can burn a nation if we're not careful.
Of course. That being said, right, I think that we also need to create a more balanced information ecosystem, and that's what I mean when I say that the media needs to be more responsible, so that we're hearing different viewpoints, right? That ecosystem is balanced. It is not just a case of, they said Alhaji one thing, did blah 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 blah, and then everybody Alhaji is a bad man because of this. Do you understand? It's annoying, because there's several other things that Alhaji has done that actually qualifies him to be a good leader. But because this is what the media is transmitting, and trust us, the youth, once we hear one thing like that, that's what we're running with. We don't even want to hear anything else. Nobody bothers about whatever else it is that he has done that seems...
Right. You're so right. And quickly coming back to that, I remember we had spoken about it here, how the media needs to play a huge role in helping to advance women politics.
Yeah.
And again, young people, we say that they're the future of tomorrow. Young people are expected to be in, to participate in politics, governance, and all that. But young people are also watching.
Absolutely.
They're like, if you can do this to a Binta, I mean, all the poor woman just did was come out for election or something, and then you shredded her like this.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even want to put myself in
that
kind of position.
situation.
You understand?
Yeah.
So I mean, let's honestly, there has to be responsible media. There has to be a better way to do this, and I can assure you, if the pressure is less, again, I mean, let me speak on this idea of it's almost like a herd mentality. Oh, this narrative, everybody, because someone said it, someone with a platform said it, it must be
burning
true.
our heads there.
Exactly. And again, I mean, this comes back to media. So I don't know if there is some sort of governance, you know, around the media ecosystem to ensure that it is fair, it is balanced, and it is accurate. Even if it is not accurate 100% of the time, at least most of the time, you know, it is. And then we will now discover that young people will see that there is actually no need to sensationalize anything. Because that's what we're doing now. We feel the more sordid it is, the better the clickbait, the better the engagement, the better. So we're learning. And all these things we're learning, we have to unlearn them fast.
As soon as possible. Yeah. I think we'll take a break, but then when we come back, we'll be talking about the influence of policy, how media actually influenced policy with youth engagement. See you after the break.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
The suspect equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them. If you no talk, then go beat you. Now 2,500 and they pay.
If you're just tuned in, we're discussing the role of media in youth engagement. Please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 08180384663. So before we went, we were talking about the pros and cons of the media and youth engagement. We had discussed why the media, or rather what the media needs to do better. We talked about the media creating a balanced ecosystem. And now I want us, Jola, to discuss I'm sure that there are some examples or some campaigns that we have seen talking about, we've been discussing a lot about, or rather we've been talking generally about digitization. So let's now narrow it down to social media, right? Let's look at some social media campaigns that were driven by the youth and what role or what influences were made, or maybe like policy changes and things like that. And I'll just mention one very quickly, and that's two actually. One globally and one locally in Nigeria. Let's look at the NSAS movement, for example.
Oh, that one, I mean, that one.
I think it was, that went it fired up the way it did because of social media.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I wouldn't have believed that people literally shut down their lives.
Yes. Nigeria shut down, like really.
It was beautiful to see, right? And that just shows you that, see, it is very, very, very crucial that we start to pay attention to what the power of media, right? Look at Black Lives Matter. Till tomorrow, even the little children are going Black Lives Matter. That is also the role of media.
True.
So what are we then talking about? It's absolutely important and cannot be overemphasized. I'm not sure if you have any.
Oh, there is one I remember, Tiananmen Square, the one in China. Where the students, and I mean, it started with students just sending messages to each other, And before you knew it, they had, literally hundreds of thousands, at the protest. And again, the power of media, the power of digitization. Information travels at the speed of light, and when young people somehow, when information gets to them and they are united for a purpose, it's amazing what they can do.
There's usually a transformative impact that can be done or that can be achieved when the media is actually used properly. That's very true. It always amazes me when people, especially our old folks, when they go, oh no, the media, social media. Yes, of course, they are, bad, as it is with everything that has its advantages and its disadvantages. We can't deny that, of course, right? But then if we actually look at it and we weigh it, you would find out that the pros are actually a whole lot more than what the cons are. And in that light, I don't know why we shouldn't go with it. I also think that the government has a very large role to play in terms of, helping and making sure that the media is actually utilized to its full potential, right? Because I sometimes, even these numbers that we're saying, oh, it's increasing, there's a lot of penetration and all that, I think that we can still do a whole lot more. Yes, compared to imagine we're talking about 25%, 24%. So what happens to the other 75%? So I think that we still have a very long way to go in engaging the youth, making sure that people are actively involved, educating people for them to understand what power it is that they carry. And I would always say, I love what Office of the Citizen is doing, because it is actually giving that mindset of, it is no longer a game of, oh, we're just sitting down here and see whatever. Yeah. No, we have now realized that we actually have a role to play. There's a part that it is that we have to play. Realizing also that the media also can help. So you can wake up today and, you look at one policy, they said they wanted to pass one bill. I'm not going to discuss what bill it is. And I went on Twitter, and oh my God, Twitter was on fire. And sometimes I'm like, I just wish that these people that were behind their keypads, would actually come out in real life and, say these things and put all these words into action. Trust me, there will be a major transformation and movement, right? All of these campaigns that we see happening, all of this worldwide, not just in Nigeria, as a matter of fact, globally, right? It can all be, patterned to what role the media actually has to play. So let's now talk about what potential trends it is that we might be seeing in the future. What potential trends do you think?
Well, I think that in the nearest future, which is now, really, media is going to play a powerful. In fact, it's going to be it's going to be the most important, the game changer in politics and even governance. With media, you can be made or you can be mad. It's as simple as that, because again, there is nothing hidden anymore with this digital space. Absolutely. Now. All you need to do, you just do it like
snap of your fingers.
Everybody knows. So if we want to start engaging young people, we want to start teaching accountability, we want to start teaching participation. When young people see that, oh, this can actually happen. Again, Office of the Citizen, when they tell you this is your role as a citizen, and then we begin to understand that, then we would also understand, okay, listen, when I'm watching out for stuff in the media, this is the kind of stuff I should be looking out for.
Right.
I'm not looking at the gossip. I'm not looking at, maybe it's the father of 7 children. No. What I'm actually looking at should be around the code of conduct. How has he performed as, an elected official? Has he done this? Is the process free? Is it fair? Is it, so our engagement is much more focused. You understand? Even with the leadership. And of course, if we engage like that with the leadership, we become better followers. When we become better followers, we become active participants in the business of nation building. That's how nations grow.
Of course, of course.
So it's not, there's no rocket science to it. There's no magic happening. People would only act based on what they know and what they see and what they are exposed to or what they're given the opportunity
to even know in the first place. That's true. I also think that a lot of platforms, talking about what might happen in the future, a lot of platforms will, not even might, will actually evolve, right? And this would actually cause some, if I do say so myself, significant implications, right? So if we look at terms of, sometimes I sit down and I think, and I look at it in terms of AI, what would possibly happen, right? It's because there's just going to be a whole lot to learn and absorb. And in that light, it's going to actually keep people on their toes, like you rightly said. So nothing is hidden. We all know that this is what this thing is supposed to be. So you cannot come to us and sell us nonsense. Because we know what is attainable. We know what we are looking out for. We know what the expectations are. So you're not going to come to us this morning and tell us, oh,
red is blue.
When there is advanced technology, no, they'll call your bluff and call you out on your BS and tell you, no, this is what it is supposed to be. I can't wait for that day to actually see what is actually going to happen. But then let's not dream too far. I think my imaginations are beginning to run too wild. Let me come back home and come back to reality of what is actually happening
in Nigeria
and what is achievable now in Nigeria, right? I mean, it all just boils down to the same thing that we've been saying, right? Responsibility. I think that's another angle we need to look at. How can the youth use media generally more responsibly?
I mean, it cannot be about clickbait. It cannot be because I want a trend. We're doing ourselves a disservice if we do that. Because guess what? Now, the interesting thing about, let me quickly jump to AI.
Yeah.
AI is a collection of information.
Absolutely.
It is what you put in the cyberspace that would return to you. So if you put garbage in, it's garbage out. It's simple. So you just begin to understand that you're learning the wrong things. So let us just, I mean, I think we can do better, especially in Nigeria. Sometimes we think that the only way for us to pass information is to be sensational about it. Even when we know for a fact that it's not right. So let's stop that. Let's stop, because, I mean, history, they say history is written by the people who write first. So if we want to write our own history, if we want this nation for some reason, even as a people, as a culture, religion, whatever, it has to be based on the truth or fact. Maybe not truth, but facts.
Of course.
You understand? Such that even if I don't agree with the fact, I can't dispute the fact that this is the fact. The numbers have to check. The words have to check. The dates have to align.
Yes.
So, I mean, let's do that. And again, quickly, one of the biggest things that we will see, I mean, with media is our process. Maybe, just maybe, we'll begin to see a little shift towards the positive. I'm hoping so. That if more people, know about this.
Yeah.
I mean, with this last election, now we understand the role of INEC.
A whole lot better, in fact.
Exactly. So next election cycle, people know what they're going to look for. People understand the process better, and that's the power of media.
So media offers some sort of literacy, so educating us more as to what should be going on in the political space, what should be going on in terms of governance, what we should be expecting, how things should be done. Very true, very true. I mean, I think that this can't be, we can't say this enough as a matter of fact, right? It's literally like the quotes that were said earlier by Jim Morrison, right? It is what it is. You can't, it's what we're seeing. It's what is going on out there. It is what is transmitted. It is the information that is passed. if I don't know something today, I don't know what the color white is supposed to be like. I know white is white because I was told that white is supposed to be white. So if you come here today and tell me that this is white, I'll tell you, no, this is not white. This is what white is supposed to look like. And that's just what information is, right? And as it is now, if so even if it is in form of print, I don't even want to know whatever kind of media it is that we're talking about. We're talking about the digital media, we're talking about print, we're talking about the local way,
word of mouth,
verbally, whatever it is. It is just a way of passing information. And at the end of the day, whatever information it is that is passed should actually be accurate, because that is what begins to form our own mentality, our own, ideas and perspective. Because it is usually always just based on what it is that we've heard, what it is that we've read, what it is that we've seen. So there has to be some high level of truth. Let me call it that in the media space. So I think the media houses have a very, very huge role to play. First of all, realizing the fact that they are responsible for what is taken in. They are responsible for whatever it is that is said about this space in the next, 20, 50, 100 years. And so in that light, they need to know or make sure that what is fed is actually responsible information.
I agree.
I think that a lot of youth also need to understand there needs to be a lot of, what I call it, I think I'm using that word literacy a lot, but I think that is the bedrock, right?
Yes.
There has to be a lot of unlearning.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be a lot of relearning and learning as well. Because if we go by what it is that we know now, I'm very afraid of what it is that's going to happen to us in the nearest future. Because let's now even move away from politics and governance now. We know that on the Way Show, which is even the bedrock of the Way Show in the first place, right? To be able to educate, the youth, get the youth to talk more, get them to be more engaged as to what it is that is going on and all of that, which is why we're doing this every day. More so on even on Mondays. That's why we're talking about. People say, "Oh, why you always talk about politics and governance?" But that's because people need to know. Because a lot of people don't know, and how else would they know
if we
don't educate them? If we're not saying it, right? So it is actually very important for us to make sure that we're driving. And I'm appealing to every form of media house, be it from the newspapers, be it social media houses, whatever it is. Please, let us make sure that we're passing on responsible and accurate information. I think we have a comment somewhere. Okay, yes, of course we do. Good evening, my dear beautiful sisters of What Are You Saying? #Ways. The role of the media and youth engagements. The role of the media and youth engagement should not be overemphasized, according to my dear beautiful sister Chinelo. She also made mention of the media playing a very important role in youth engagement because it educates and gives responsible information, which I agree. My dear beautiful sister D said that the role of the media empowers the youth. To me, I also believe that it creates awareness for you to select businesses of their choice. Very true. Finally, my dear beautiful sister Chinelo is back. I'm so happy and excited. Please don't disappear again. You're very important to us. God bless you. My name is Daniel, always regular fan. Daniel, I am back. I am here. But yeah, I love what he said there. Thank you very much, Daniel. Thank you for always participating. Creating awareness, of course, in every light way, shape, and form of what you term awareness to be. The good, the bad, the ugly. That's the role that the media actually plays, right? And I think you mentioned that earlier about how the media also needs to be careful to not pass the wrong narrative, so to speak. You were going to say something, Jenna?
Oh, okay. So I was going to say that even in terms of social advocacy, public announcements and all that, again, the role of the media cannot be emphasized or overemphasized. The media is literally the heartbeat of a nation because people trust them. In fact, the media is such that they're so powerful that if the media says the government is working, do you know that it's just psychological? The people would believe that the government
and begin to see.
Yes, and begin to see that the government is actually working.
Yeah, true.
So, for every kind of information that the media has the opportunity to, whatever space, whether politics, whether social business, economy, in whatever way. What we need is not sensations. No. Let's just leave that for countries that don't even have a name. I mean, we have suffered enough, and we need cold, hard truths to be able to make informed decisions to move forward. I am very hopeful that in the next election cycle, the amount of information that has been put out there, I wish a lot more media houses, media influencers, people within the space will do more to educate, enlighten, and empower young people. Don't castigate somebody who did some 10 years ago. No. Let us understand about, what is expected as a citizen, what is expected as an electorate, what you are supposed to do, how the voting process is supposed to go, what the Constitution says. I mean, I would think that, maybe some media houses will do maybe like every 30 minutes or it can even be a civic responsibility for them. Teach people, educate people about the Constitution. You'll be amazed that a lot. I personally, I think enough is. I don't know.
Enough has helped our life.
Yeah. So when people understand, people even begin to understand their own fundamental human rights
and responsibilities.
So I mean, the media is almost like the alpha and the,
Rightly said, Diola. So I'm sure that from all that we have said, it all boils down to one thing, which is the significant role that the media in general actually has to play in youth engagement, be it in politics, be it in the economy, be it socially, in entertainment, in whatsoever sphere of life it is. And it is also very important for mobilization, I must say, and disseminating information as well. In fact, I'm sure I've said this thing like 10 times now. The media needs to become more responsible, because the truth is that anytime the youth need any form of information, that is where we run to. Even me, I'm a true testament to that. Even when they say what's in the news, where do I go to? I run straight to the media, because and you know what baffles me? I'm like, there are so many things that are happening
in the course of a day.
I'm telling you, and it's so interesting how you can just randomly bump into someone, and then the person is saying the exact thing that you just saw. It really gets my mind running wild. I'm like, wow, there's actually so much power in what this thing has to offer. So please, once again, I am actually appealing to every form of media house out there, media influencers like Jola Skoji people, the prints, the traditional print, the newspapers, and all of that. Let us, as much as possible, play a responsible role in actually engaging the youth. This is actually very, very important, because as we have said, it can actually transform a whole lot. And what better way to make the country better if not to transform our political space and the governance space as well. And like Jola said, in the next election cycle, oh my God, I'm excited in advance, because a lot of people are more politically aware now. They know a whole lot of things that should be done, that should be expected. And also, thank God for Office of the Citizen, the EI Enough is Enough platform as well. Remember that you can always send a message to the chat, but if you have any questions to ask, it starts from inside. Find out who is responsible for fixing that road. It's not everything that is Tinubu. It's not everything that they said the economy was in coma. It's not everything, Sometimes these things are people that are around us are the ones that are responsible, our primary environment. So we need to also try to find out, and let's not just wait. Ask questions. It is your responsibility. The way we say that we have our human rights, we also have people always talk about human rights. They forget about human responsibilities. It's your responsibility to know the people that are in charge of certain things as well. So the media is not just there to know who has gotten the latest BBL or, things like that. Please help to also be involved and also participate in the political space and in the space of governance as well. I'm sure that we've said, Jola, any final thoughts before we go?
I mean, just be responsible about the information you put out there. That's what I would say.
Thank you very much. It was great to have you tonight, Dilla. Before we go, do ensure you Show Africa, you can interact with us further, drop a comment, and most importantly, follow all our social media engagements. Remember to like, share, comment, and invite your friends and family to watch us and follow us. If you missed today's quote, here it is again. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. This is by Jim Morrison. See you tomorrow. Yes, I will be here again. See you tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen.
It for upcoming artists to blow in Nigeria.
Welcome to Plus Trending. I am Buki November, your host, saying thank you for joining us on today's episode.
Welcome back. It's tea time on Plus TV Africa.
Practice makes perfect. I'm not perfect yet, but I'm a lot better than I used to be.
He's a king. He's entitled to marry 100 if he wants to.
Fundamentally, hustle culture is about work dominating your time in such an unnatural way that we have no time to live our lives. The demanding nature of our world now, where people have to pay multiple bills, take care of family, has led to the need to make more money to meet those needs. Coupled with the constantly increasing cost of living and inflation, people can't stop working. The weekends are no longer spent relaxing and spending time with family, but catching up on work that couldn't be completed during the week or doing other side hustles that can provide that extra money to cover some bills. Now, people log in long hours and take on side hustles for many reasons. Eloho, a 28-year-old woman, has to take on multiple jobs of being an editor by day, an English language tutor by night, and an invigilator on the weekends.
The cost of